Deion Sanders' boy entered the transfer portal. That was a big shock to everybody.
Yeah, right. Hunter. Didn't see that coming.
How did we not
I
see
assume
that?
he ends up at Florida State, right?
I'm guessing legacy and all. Legacy kid. Get him in.
Hey, so did you say that what's his name? The last name's Hunter, the top recruit
Travis
from
Hunter.
last year? Travis Hunter. Did he already transfer, or did he already put in a portal?
Yeah, he's in.
Okay. Oh, you were talking about. Oh, you said Deion's boy. I thought you meant Shador, like his son.
Oh no!
Jokingly,
I thought he was
jokingly
packed in
that
the
he's
suitcases.
No,
I thought he was in the Louis.
Well,
wasn't he in that Louis suitcase?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm sure he's transferring to Colorado. I mean, I thought that was the shocking news that Sean was saying.
Oh,
Deion's boy's following him with yeah.
He announced that like right after he took the job.
Well, yeah, he announced it.
He basically announced that the minute he went to Jackson State. He's like, I'm with Deion. So wherever Deion is, that's where I am.
Right.
Yeah. But I heard they're getting a lot of. He's getting visits. He's getting 2023 kids on campus in Boulder right now.
Yep.
It would be fun.
We're going to get into that with Brandon Innes specifically. That affects us.
Yeah.
So, I don't have the intro queued up, so we'll just go ahead and kick it off. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another Sunday night. 1 week till Christmas. Hope you're feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, or if not, you better drink more.
Praise Jesus.
Yeah. As always, we appreciate everybody joining us. Drop your questions and comments in the chat. I do have to say, my video about the decommitment of Dylan Raiola has gotten over 1,100 views since yesterday.
Wow.
And some of the comments are just comical. I'm not going to read them here. Go to the YouTube channel and check them out. YouTube.com/the BuckeyeCast. It's pretty funny. So apparently, I'll just give you a quick highlight. Nebraska is going to be a conference in the conference title game in 3 to 4 years. So that's the gist. Alongside of some of the stupid comments that I won't give any credence to, that they're just talking out of their ass. So, yeah. Nebraska is going to be playing Michigan for the conference title game in 3 to 4 years.
Nebraska's going to be playing Michigan. Wow.
Yeah, people, I mean, when there's no accountability, you can say whatever the fuck you want. We do it here.
Right.
I like to think we have a little better perspective than most, but anyway, as always, we appreciate everybody joining us. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It seems like for some reason, a large percentage of people who watch the videos do not subscribe to the channel. Don't get that. If you are continuously watching, why wouldn't you just subscribe so you know when we're going live and when we put out new content? I'm putting out new videos every day with a daily blitz. So please like and subscribe. Helps everybody, helps your friends, helps your family, helps the homeless even, I think.
Helps
Sean,
humanity.
is that correct?
I think so, in an indirect way. I believe
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
directly helping the homeless. People
helping people. That's what we're all about here, especially this time of year. But we appreciate everybody supporting the show as you always have, buying us shots. There's links to buy us shots in the show description. Big announcement Tuesday, 2 days from now, at this exact same time on this exact same channel, we're going to have the president and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. He is going to tell us what kind of nuggets we should get and what kind of sauce, right? Jeff, is that what Gary usually tells us?
He definitely breaks down the nugget situation.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if he has something more about the game too.
Oh, yeah. He's going to talk about that football game. There's a football game in Atlanta, and Gary is the president and CEO of that game. he extended the invite to Ryan Day and Gene Smith last week in Columbus. So appreciate that. And surprisingly, they accepted. Didn't see that coming.
I was on the edge of my seat there for a minute. Wanted to see how that was going to shake out.
Right. I think there was a paycheck in there too, and a helmet with a Peach Bowl logo on it. Anyway, so check us out Tuesday night with Gary, Mr. Stoken, I like to call him. That guy, he was on it with the whole playoff expansion. He knew that was coming sooner than later. And
That's weird.
Just a couple of weeks later, the Rose Bowl announced they were going to go in and change their contract. So tonight we're talking recruiting. I know everybody loves recruiting, can't get enough of it. I usually talk recruiting on Mondays on the Daily Buckeye Blitz, but tonight we're going to really boil down this 2023 class. We're going to obviously talk about the decommitment of Dylan Raiola from Saturday. And we've had obviously other decommitments, 4 of them besides Dylan from this 2023 class alone. And we're going to speculate wildly, as we are wont to do, especially Sean. Sean's a huge speculator, but that's why we love him. Did you know that, Sean? We had a moment.
I'll speculate. I know that. I'll speculate on some gold. I'll speculate on some recruits. I'll speculate on whatever you got.
That's how he made his nut.
FTX. You got to speculate on some FTX?
I did not, but I have speculated on some others that are much better, right?
Hey, still, I think Miami's the Heat's dome, their stadium is still FTX Stadium.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure. I'm sure that's in legal world.
Nice.
Worked out.
Well, yeah, but I think as of like last week on the building, it was still FTX Arena.
That's like laundered money, man. That's illegal funds. Ill-gotten
Well, you gotta think now. Like you gotta think they're looking like, hey, are we gonna be getting paid? You know, they said they're gonna pay us every year.
Exactly.
We're not keeping the sign up here if we're not getting any money for it.
Right. And so it's like, who do we replace it with? Can we find like a STX, or is there some kind of similar acronym we could use? Anyways, so before we get too off the rails, yes, recruiting. Wednesday is early signing day, and we need to hash out this class. We also got to talk about this 2024 quarterback class, and we'll talk about who is uncommitted, committed, who we have offered, and a lot of ins and outs and what have yous right there. Jeff and Sean got them in here, obviously. How are you guys feeling tonight? What's on your mind?
Good. I watched a little bit of NFL today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's some crazy games. You got to see the end of that Raiders-Patriots game. Holy shit. But
was there a tuck rule involved? Because I would rather punch myself in the face.
No, but it involves a quarterback getting stiff-armed like to the ground and stomped on.
Okay.
Or walk off.
Walk off to end the game, stomp the quarterback and take the ball and go. But yeah, just drink some bourbon, got a little fire going, nice and cool out here tonight. Nice. Enjoying some Florida winter.
Yeah, all those flurries. Bundle up, Buttercup.
It's ashes from the trees I'm burning.
Yeah. Henry, how are things up in the Nordic land?
Well, it's a little cool up here too. That you mentioned it.
It's all relative. It's all relative.
25 degrees cool right now as we're sitting here. But no, a little bit the same. Watched a little bit of football earlier today. Trying to not let my mind get too far away from it. That college is on hiatus. I usually don't get into the NFL much. But yeah, there were some cool things like that Raiders and the Lions game up here was obviously a big deal. And
Cowboys Jags pick 6 to end the game.
Yeah.
Good jigs.
Joey Money Burrow just stomped fucking Brady in his house.
I
Yeah.
drove right by it. Didn't even know.
17-0, and then it turned out to be 34-17 in a matter of a quarter and a half.
They threw a touchdown late, Jeff. They got 24.
Okay. little garbage time touchdown.
Yeah, with under a minute left, and then the onside that doesn't work. It's like
I didn't see the last 2 minutes. I just
my son was like, that was like the worst like effort for an onside I've ever seen, because they were still down 2 scores. I'm like, yeah, because they weren't trying. They were like, fucking, let's just get out of here. Brady got a garbage time touchdown. Let's get out of here before anybody gets hurt. Yeah. Still down 2 scores with 40 seconds. Good luck.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
One side note, I'm in the semifinal of the fantasy league. I played fantasy this year. What's that? 12-2 regular season. So I got the 2
Nobody
seed.
cares about your fantasy team.
I know,
nice.
But that's it. I'm done with it.
Jeff and I got drunk today.
Yeah,
not separately. Yeah.
No, we had a good little brunch with the family. That was nice.
Yeah. Don't take this Mary to a fucking brunch, by the way, Sean. He will order every fruity drink on the goddamn menu.
Hey, he's got a discriminating palate. He likes to try some stuff.
I had a Bloody Mary and a couple Ramblers.
Ramblers?
Take it easy. Yeah,
the Blamblers?
I love a good Bloody Mary now.
That Bloody Mary was okay too. I had to get started with that.
Ketchup and vodka, just no. Non-starter.
Idiot.
I'm in.
Puke. Yeah. So me and Jeff had a few cocktails while the rest of the family talked. Jeff was really into the soccer game for some reason.
I watched that
downgraded him a few notches in my book.
I started watching it. I started watching it in 90 minutes. Like I only watched the overtime or whatever the fuck they call it. Free time, whatever. Just an indiscriminate amount of time that the ref knows, but nobody else does. But it went on forever, and then they went to penalty kicks. I don't know. It's kind of cool. The greatest. I think we saw the greatest soccer player.
I watched almost all of that game, and it was an amazing game. I mean, I can't even believe France came back. The Argentina-France World Cup, that was badass. And I'm not, you know me, I'm not big into that. But Argentina came out kicking their ass.
I thought I knew you, Sean.
It was a blowout, and then France scores 2 goals in like 3-4 minutes and tie. Dude, it was a good. Even for those not into it, good for the World Cup. I'll bet you those ratings on that were pretty good, especially late after, like you said, Jeff. They go to overtime, which is like another half hour or 20 minutes or whatever it is, and then they go to penalty kicks.
It's crazy to me that there's one person on the field that knows how much time's left, and everybody else just has to keep going until he just says, "Oh, that's it." It's wild. It is wild. It's crazy to play a game that way. You know, it can be over at any moment.
Yeah, but you kind of know. But you kind of know. I mean, for the stoppages and stuff, you know, if there's someone that's hurt bad and the game stops for a while, you know that extra time is going to be a lot. Or if there's a bunch of different fouls and shit, they're going to add plenty of time back in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't go down to this.
Right. And that's soccer talk.
Alrighty.
Buckeye,
that wraps up our world. That wraps up our World Cup talk for 2022.
All right. That was 5 minutes too long. What else? What else is on your mind? Oh, let's talk about this tweet I got here. Let's talk about Buckeye fans, real Buckeye fans versus fake Buckeye fans, I would call them. Some people just like to bitch and complain and just want to bang on people. And these are the same people, by the way, who are messaging players and shitting all over them all the time. And here's, let me share this tweet that we're talking about with everybody. Here you go. And please, if you guys know this person, please send them my way because I would love to talk to them more. This is Mark at Dayton Buckeye ML. So obviously he should be a Buckeye fan, right? So this is his tweet after Dylan Raiola removed Ohio State from his, from his Twitter profile. This is smart guy Mark. This is his tweet. This is getting better by the hour. Can't blame a kid that doesn't want to be a Michigan's whipping boy for 3 years. Damn, we're so lucky. Translation equals he doesn't think Day can develop him into the QB he wants to be. Doug Archie, I don't know why a compliance guy enters into this entire discussion. Doug Archie be like, and it's a gif of I don't know who that is. Anyways, so first there's like 3 or 4 different takes in here, and the main point is I don't think this person is a real fan. And I'll say that because he thinks that Dylan Raiola is going to be beat by Michigan for 3 years. And we're so lucky. Translation equals, I don't know what that means. Ryan Day can't develop him into a QB that he wants to be. Are you fucking serious? Have you watched any quarterbacks come out of Ohio State in the last 3 years since Ryan Day's been there? 4 years, actually, 2018. So Jeff and Sean, I would love to get your takes on this and the type of fan. I'm making an example of this jackass because there are more people out there that carry the same stupidity. And like I said, they're sending the stupidity towards the players and just shitting all over them with the worst takes ever.
Well, I mean, you're okay. Let's separate. Let's separate a couple things here. Anything going at players and directly and targeting that, I don't give a fuck if it's just stay away from the kids. Stay away from the players unless you're coming at them with some NIL money. Don't fucking engage. And I hope the kids aren't engaging. But that being said, something like this and this sentiment, the first part of it, I can 100% get on board with. And I'm saying that not that I'm 100% on board with it, but I'm 100% on board with this fan's feeling and sentiment. I remember having similar feelings to like, this is getting better by the hour. Can't blame a kid that doesn't want to be Michigan's whipping boy for the next 3 fucking years. Damn, we're so lucky. I don't know what that damn we're so.
Yeah, I don't know where that was coming.
In the 90s, I was saying that. And I was so fucking livid. I'm like, you know what? What the fuck? Every year after year. So I think it's a little bit premature to have that. I don't have the same feeling, but I've had this in the past. And so I don't feel like we get to define someone's fandom by a statement like that. I think they're super passionate and they don't like the way it's going. Again, I think it's premature and they might be believing too many headlines on the soft and on the whatever and on which I think are legitimate concerns, but I'm not ready to jump off the ship just yet like this guy. That he says he doesn't think Day can develop him into the quarterback. Yeah, to me, that's dumb. I mean, all of Day's quarterbacks are fucking studs. So not really sure on that part, but I get what I'm trying to say is I can get being a pissed off, cynical fan. Like, you know what? This is bullshit. 2 years in a row. Fucking Stroud's pussy, doesn't want to run. He hasn't been developed any more than, a 7-on-7 skeleton quarterback and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. That's how I feel about it. You're going to have fans criticize like that. But to me, that's okay. But it's when you say that when Day doesn't fucking develop QBs,
that's where you lose all credibility with me.
Exactly. You do. And but again, I'd rather that fan out there and, you might read that first part and like, damn, they're pissed off at that. And then they say something that stupid and you're like, okay, it's an idiot. Don't take the first part even, don't even consider the first part because the second part ruins it for him.
Exactly.
But I've had similar feelings.
Okay. But So my point is, this was just a message that came back to me regarding my tweet. So I've seen multiple versions of similar stupidity out there just on this Dylan Raiola decommitment alone. I mean, pick any topic where things have gone against the Buckeyes in recruiting or whatever, and you got Buckeye fans out here starting fires, you know, and then talking stupid on top of it. And I don't even know what the fuck the Doug Archie thing means. He's in charge of compliance. Okay, what does that have to do with your first three sentences? Anyways.
Well, is that some decoded inside information that there was some compliance issues that were fucking wrong with this kid and he got out of
this
town?
This fucking guy on Twitter does not have any inside information. I guarantee you that. I think he is taking bits and pieces of narratives that he's heard elsewhere and just regurgitating them. I see that a lot, especially
is there a narrative that compliance is an issue? I've never heard that. I mean,
yeah, there is. If you listen to Zach Smith's podcast, that's a huge talking point. Like, not every day, but it comes up a lot when they talk about NIL and
well, I mean, specifically with this kid, with Raiola, is there
no, not player specific. So my point is, this guy, this kid, whoever this Mark Daytona Buckeye ML douchebag is, just regurgitating like things that he's hearing or picking up from elsewhere. And that's the problem with a lot of these comments that I see, especially on my videos. People are just regurgitating and they're parrots. They're parrots repeating something that somebody else said they heard. Like the whole Ohio State is soft thing. I'm still getting that. Ohio State is not soft. You don't know what you're talking about. If you're watching football and Ohio State versus Michigan and you say that Ohio State is soft, you don't know what football is. You don't know how to watch it. You're not watching the line play and the entire game as a whole. So I'm tired of that narrative. And who started that? Josh Gaddis.
Yeah, but Joe,
horrendous offensive coordinator that left, or he would have got fired, and now is at Miami, burning down Miami.
About to get
fired.
Though, that
what's that?
You have to understand that only 20% of people that watch football know what the fuck you're talking about, and soft doesn't mean anything to them, whether they watch the game or not. It's
right.
Just
that's
like,
my point, Sean. They're regurgitating stuff they heard.
Yeah, but that's what they do. That's the type of fans they are. And that's 80% of football at any place at any level, I feel. And that's just...
I refuse to accept that as an excuse.
Well, that's no excuse. Go away. Sorry, Jeff,
just because you keep saying somebody's soft because somebody else already said that, that's not...
Well, to me,
that's not a take.
To me, they are soft. They just lost twice to them. So don't be soft. Win. That's what it means to some people. Is don't fucking lose to Michigan.
Just losing is soft now.
To Michigan. Back to back at home in embarrassing fashion.
Jeff?
Yes. Oh, thought I lost you there.
Take, please.
Well, there's different interpretations, like Sean is saying, about soft.
No, let's back up to the tweet.
Okay, yeah.
Sean broke it down pretty much sentence by sentence, and then we finished on the soft thing. We can finish in the same order. So, do you want me to reshare that?
No, the guy kind of is hard to follow. I don't really want to break down his whole tweet. Yeah, there's no basis when he says that Ryan Day doesn't develop quarterbacks. He's got a pretty good track record and pretty well respected. I don't know what that would be if any of what he says is related to Raiola's situation, especially. So it's definitely negativity that I can understand tweeting out frustration, but obviously you never put a kid's name on it or at it. You don't at the kids. That's obviously I'm very clear with Sean at that, where you just don't at any of those kids. You don't need to. You don't need to tell them that they dropped the ball on 3rd and long and that fucking killed us. They know that. They don't need grown-ups telling them that shit. That's weird. So I don't know. Like Sean said, I've been known to say some negative shit when I'm really disgusted with how we perform. But to go to see, but I don't go to Twitter. You know what I mean? I don't go to Twitter and share my stuff. I say it with who's in the room with me. And I'm not out trying to influence strangers or just build where he is, where he's putting it on Twitter because he wants people to see it. He wants people to gather behind him in that same sentiment, right? I mean, is that kind of why you post shit like that, to get the attention? Right. So I don't have, I don't. So that's obviously his motivation. But yeah, people should be calling him out. I'm sure I'm guessing there's a lot of responses to his tweet, good and bad. I'm sure some people are calling him out for being an asshole. But
my point, like I mentioned off the top, my point is this is a type of tweet I'm seeing. I'm not saying everybody's doing it. It's like a 5% to 10% of the fan base. I know that I shouldn't get all upset about that, but it makes the rest of the fan base look like a bunch of jackasses, in my opinion. And I hate uneducated fans trying to put takes out there that have no merit. Whether
you're right,
whether it's Ohio State fans, Michigan fans, Alabama, Georgia, I don't give a fuck. Don't put fucking dumb takes out there that make no fucking sense. And you look like an idiot.
I think there's a 50% chance. I mean, you're talking about 5 to 10% of the fan base, but then I think there's a 50% chance that is a troll, and that's Michigan or a SEC or somebody else, fan that has that account. I mean, there's a high possibility that that's who it is as well.
And that's possible.
And I never understood people to spend their time on Twitter just to do that. Like I wouldn't ever spend that much time just to fuck with people. I think
just
it's
to get
funny.
reaction, Jeff. That's it.
People love
live
that
for that.
But I think it's a lame way to spend your time.
Of course, everybody does. Doesn't stop people from being idiots.
My kids spend all their time on that fucking social media stuff. So I mean, I don't know.
But I wouldn't say that they're posting just dumb takes to get a reaction.
No, they actually have to make sure they don't post dumb takes because everything's on the internet now. So
exactly, right.
You got to go out of your way to not.
Exactly why I took a screenshot of this dumb fuck. So,
and think,
all right,
Joe, like
that's enough time on Twitter
he's
takes.
laughing. Maybe he's laughing, Joe, that he's like, look at this guy. I got him all riled up. And he's just like, doesn't even mean what he says. He just writes it to get the reaction you're talking about.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But
maybe you'll hear from
him.
Hopefully he reaches out to you.
Yeah, he won't. But I'm using that as an example. Like I said, this is just one example of some horrific Ohio State fans, quote unquote, allegedly. I don't call them fans. I call them just assholes that happen to claim Ohio State. I call them, fake fans, and they are not. They're not really Ohio State fans. They're out there, like I said, to get a reaction and just to talk shit. And Sean, I know I actually thought that it was actually a Michigan fan incognito.
There's at least a coin flip chance that it is.
Sure. Yeah. So anyways, I'm trying to point out the fact that not all Buckeye fans are this fucking stupid. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing it, especially every time something goes wrong, a decommitment, we lose one game a year or whatever it might be. I see this come out at that time.
Yeah, but you don't get I mean, everyone's got their own level of fandom and the own way it reacts to them. I mean, again, dumb takes are dumb takes, but the emotion and being disgusted with your team, that's real. And, everyone, handles bad news differently.
Okay.
And that's like, where are you going to be? I'd like to see, you're not there now, but let Ryan Day lose 2 or 3 more to Michigan in a row. Then where are you going to be you're going to be right next to that guy saying this is fucking bullshit. And,
well, if you're talking a 5-game lose, hold on, we're talking about a 5-game losing streak to Michigan. Well, yeah, whole different ball game than anything that's going on right now.
And
of course,
his tweet had 3 different opinions in there that made no sense altogether. So that's enough that we gave that horrible social media type. I'm not going to call them Buckeye fans again. So they're wiped from the record. I do have that screenshot and I will not delete that. That will be coming back to Twitter and when it's appropriate. I have a lot of good screenshots actually. Also had an interesting interaction with Brian Schottenstein on Twitter this week. He's got to get his staff working his social media. Him and Cardale cannot just sit there and get in the trenches, get in the muck, and fire back when they feel defensive. These guys are, especially Brian, super defensive. He did a great service by starting the foundation and getting NIL deals. He's raised over $3 million allegedly, and there's no transparency until tax season. But he and Cardale got to stop responding to every little seemingly personal attack, how they perceive it. And again, you need a social media manager. You need a staff. This is the way Florida's NIL collective is doing it. Miami's, Tennessee's. I've said this 1,000 times on Twitter. I'm done saying it. It's just obvious. You cannot, as a single person, and he's a businessman. He said he just went on Twitter Spaces on Saturday, I believe, and talked about how he's starting a new business and he's got a baby on the way and all this stuff. And it's like, why are you and Cardale responding to every little thing on Twitter? And they're super defensive about it.
What did he respond to you saying?
All right. Quickly, we'll get into it. I just commented on some random dude's tweet that I follow. I don't even remember his Buckeye. I'd have to go find the guy that tweeted it. He's just a Buckeye fan. All right. He doesn't tweet like crazy shit. This tweet was a little off in my opinion, but so he said something to the effect of, you heard it here first. NIL collectives are the next Ponzi scheme. Not pointing a finger at a particular collective. He just said, and he not even pointing it at Ohio State.
There's going to be fraud somewhere. Somewhere there will be fraud.
We talked about this last week, right, Sean?
Where there's money, there will be fraud.
Yeah, there's going to be all kinds. He's not wrong.
You're right. I got you, Joe. I got you.
There's going to be plenty of Ponzi-ish type schemes in this NIL world.
Yeah, we talked about, Sean, you brought up that documentary about the Miami soccer, right? Was it soccer? Or no, boat racing down in Miami. Where they're laundering money through that. Yeah. So anyway, for some reason, Brian Schottenstein, who never followed me before until that day, what was it, Tuesday, when I commented, he said, what are you talking about in your tweet about Ponzi scheme? Actually, it was a reply to somebody else's tweet. And I said, I jokingly said, I hope to be a good part of a Ponzi scheme someday, LOL. So joke. Then after that, I said, the foundation will release the contributions they've received in tax season in like spring. That's what I said. And so that's when Brian Schottenstein came back to me later that night. And he said, What are you talking about in your tweet about Ponzi scheme? I didn't say he was part of a Ponzi scheme at all. He says, you know how much money this is costing me to run? Delete your personal attacks. You don't even know me. This is what I'm talking about with the defensiveness. There was no personal attack. I've never gone at, I've actually supported him. I've retweeted all of the foundation's tweets because I want people to sign up, contribute, so we can get dudes.
So the guy that had the original
and I
tweet,
contributed to his fucking foundation back in June.
Well, here's the thing, Joe. Here's the problem with tweets and social media. He doesn't understand the inflection. And if I'm running a foundation and everything is like under the fucking scrutiny of everything, the money and all this, and I got some guy that sends a fucking tweets out a thing about Ponzi schemes and NIL. Yeah, I'm thinking, what the fuck? And who do you follow? You follow one team, and you do follow what they're doing. And now you're tweeting out something about Ponzi schemes. And yeah, in his mind, and he's got to cover fucking everything. He's not wrong, but he's not right. Again, he took it as something different than what you were actually doing. Again, that's the problem with not having a conversation and doing shit.
And so this was my response, Sean, to your point. I said, Brian, there was no personal attack. This is a direct message. Nobody else is seeing this, okay, between me and him, the direct conversation. I said, my tweet was in response to inform that person we will know how much the foundation has received in donations when the info is released. I thought his Ponzi scheme comment was a joke. I went on, you should listen to my show from Sunday night last week and my latest episode coming out tomorrow morning, the Daily Blitz. Apparently you're not aware that I have supported the foundation for quite a while. I donated back in June and have liked and retweeted many of your posts since. I would be happy to talk offline to clear up any misunderstandings. Text me at, I gave him my phone number. I'm available to talk tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 11:30 or 1 p.m. to 6. That's the end. He just said, okay, appreciate it later that night at 10:30. Just wouldn't use that word as a joke.
And he's not wrong.
No, but he needs to remember that the original guy that played the tweet, he's sitting back watching the whole thing like, oh shit, check this out.
No, he's not seeing these DMs, Jeff.
No, I'm saying the original tweet by the guy that said Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
He only took it offense to you. He didn't even reply to that guy.
Right.
That guy's laughing.
No, that guy's not seeing any of this.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't know that I had a conversation with Brian on DM.
Well, obviously not the conversation, but
so
anyways,
I don't want
silly.
I don't want to parse words again. We just did that.
I think you did what's right, Joe. I mean, I think you reached out to him and you laid it out and whatever. I mean, I think it's all good. I think you did what you're supposed to do in that situation to clear up any clear any misinformation up.
But I think
he probably appreciates it,
Joe. I think maybe you needed to read the room and understand that this guy's in a fucking position right now that can't have any joking like that, and that you say Ponzi scheme on it. That tweet comes back in a federal court when fuck that. There can be no joking anything like that for a guy like that in that position. There just can't be.
Sean, I don't know this guy from you.
I know
you a lot better, actually. I don't know him from anybody else. How would I know how sensitive he is to particular words?
Anybody that's running,
I don't care if he runs a fucking charity for homelessness. I don't know that a Ponzi scheme reply to somebody else's tweet is gonna light his fucking fire.
If you said like the Salvation Army's a Ponzi scheme and then talk to the guy running the Salvation Army, or you're all these things, right. You think the guy's going to be like, oh, that's cool. That's funny as fuck. He's not going to, man. He's going to take major offense to it. And that's what happened.
He's had a good thing going for a lot of years, man.
And they're like, oh, this Ponzi scheme. And they'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about Ponzi scheme, man? We're giving this money away and it's costing us just like this guy did. And it was just delivery over the internet that can't parse.
Of course. It's like texting. You can't interpret tone in a text message.
That's the story of my marriage right there.
There you go. We got some comments we got to get caught up on here, and then we're going to transition into the 2023 recruiting class and who's on deck. David Green Shield, the Buckeyes will find another quarterback in the next year. Yes, I agree. We're going to touch on that. Steven, appreciate you, Steven, always coming in here. Name the last 5-star QB that led us to a national championship. Fan base overreacting to losing Raiola. Agreed. David getting beat by double move for a TD that make the score 17-14 in the first half is not due to soft. That is due to discipline. Okay.
Yeah, the Lathan Ransom.
Good point. Yep.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
David,
Exactly.
also having your safety look into the backfield and getting beat for TD, that makes the score 24-20 due to discipline. This is not due to physicality. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
there
David.
We go. Smart Buckeye fans right there.
Finally, people.
Okay, but what about the Buckeye fan that thinks that not having this soft?
What's that?
Right. Exactly.
You dropped out
it's
there.
interpreted. He's saying what Buckeye fans that they think not being disciplined is soft. They're interpreting that as being soft. So it's like it's how people interpret that word. That word's going to mean a lot of different things to different people. So you're never going to get 100% agreement on that word.
Well, yeah, it's very general.
Soft mentally. I mean, if you're talking physically, but respect as well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So tomatoes.
Yeah. Anyway, nobody's when you use general terms and don't clarify what you mean by them, you can say whatever.
Well, what Buckeye fans should quit doing is debating the word soft. How about we just don't use it? You know what I mean?
Right.
When they're not soft, when they win a natty, all the soft talk goes away. I promise.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's all you got to do to quit that talk. You just got to beat Georgia. Two of the toughest fucking teams out there.
But again, if you're watching the games, there's nothing soft about Ohio State offense or defense. So enough. Let's talk 2023 recruiting class. You guys want to talk rumors, or do you want to talk about who's committed thus far?
Isn't it all rumor?
Yeah, it's all pretty much rumor.
I mean, you never know when the checks come in.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and just give us a rundown, Joe, of who's.
I'm going to go quickly because I want to talk about
who's our commitment. Who's we think is definite solids.
Right.
And then we'll go.
I want to go quickly because we got to talk about these DNs that are coming down to the wire.
Exactly.
And maybe we'll touch on 2024 quarterback options. Anyways, so let's go. We're going to go by star rating according to 24/7. Brandon Ennis, the only 5-star in this class, 6'1", 190 out of American Heritage down in Lauderdale. Love this kid's tape. He's your typical Brian Hartline size, 6'1", 190, can run all the routes, has the size, the physicality, and it's going to be awesome to see him come into Columbus and continue this wide receiver really. Next up, you got Noah Rogers, Rollsville, North Carolina. He's a high 4-star. He's a 0.9799. Again, tell me how that's not a 5-star. Why? When Ennis is a 9.859. Apparently, we're splitting hairs.
And what is that? What is it really? You look at those percentage points.
Right.
The stars don't matter at that point. You're looking at that's top of the country.
Nationally, he's number 45. Ennis, number 29. Luke Montgomery out of our neck of the woods, the 419, Findlay, Ohio, 6'5", 280, the big dog coming in, offensive lineman. I think he's going to end up as a tackle. Could move down to guard. Since he's 6'5", he's not as big as like a DeJuan at 6'7" or 6'9" or
Well,
whatever.
he played tight end in high school.
Right.
Yeah. Also a real good basketball player. Power forward on the basketball.
Yeah. So, yeah, proud of him. He's been committed since February. Carnell Tate, another receiver, as Heartline does, just crushes that receiver room. Another high 4-star, a 9.717.
Wasn't Carnell Tate a top 1 point, like when the rankings first came out for this class? I feel like he was maybe dropped from a year or so ago.
He might have. He's number 61 nationally.
Top 20 nationally
overall.
Back
You might have.
Probably still a top 20 receiver.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're dropping him by a hundredth of a decimal point, then yeah, he goes down to a 4-star, and behind a few dudes in the rankings. Jason Moore, D lineman out of DeMatha, done a lot of work up in the DMV. The Buckeyes have another high 4-star, 6'6", 255. Interesting to see if they slide him out to D end or not. Some awesome tape. Number 65 nationally. Again, we're still in the top 100 so far in this class, as far as what we're talking about. Corner. This is what I like. Calvin Simpson Hunt. This kid doesn't talk to shit. He doesn't talk to anybody, no interviews, not on Twitter, does not tell you anything that's going on. He's a high 4-star corner, 6 foot, 175. Waxahachie. Yeah. Waxahachie. Yeah. Texas anyways. So he plays high level football. So love this kid as a corner. We need high level, highly competitive corners. Jelani Thurman. Now, this is one of the guys I want to talk about when we get into rumors. Jelani Thurman coming out of Georgia, 6'5", 230 tight end. He's number 99. So just slid right under the wire in the top 100 in the country. I like this guy. His dad was Odell Thurman. You might have heard of him. This kid, he's got a square head on his shoulders and keeps it real. He's visited Auburn a lot because he has friends that play on Auburn, and he's been there like 5 or 6 times this past year. I don't think we have anything to worry as far as a flip situation. There was speculation early on because he wasn't doing any media. And when he did, he was only talking to like Auburn media. But as of recently, he's talked to some Ohio State media. And I got a good vibe from the kid that he's not going anywhere. Even though we did lose Kevin Wilson, moving over to Tulsa, who was the tight ends coach. You think so? What gives you that impression, Sean?
He's visiting Auburn. I'm guessing that Fairburn, Georgia, if I pulled it up on a map, probably about 40 miles right on the Georgia border. And I don't know. That's a tough kid to keep right there. Auburn, I'm sure is throwing the kitchen sink at a kid. And if all his buddies go there, I think that's going to be a hard hold.
Okay. I'm going to strongly disagree. Just because he lives close to Auburn and Georgia doesn't mean that he's flipping. He's shown no signs of that, but that's fine. Let me pop into the chat here real quick and see what's happening. Stephen, Ryan Day needs to recruit the state of Ohio harder, put a fence around the state. I like that sentiment, Stephen, but not if there's no quality talent. Why would you do that?
How many top guys are we losing? I mean, guys that we're going after that we're losing battles to, losing like recruiting battles to in Ohio. I don't know. I don't remember
putting out more players than Ohio lately. I feel certainly at the quarterback.
They got a couple recent commits. Let's not go nuts.
the quarterback situation's been off the charts, and it's going to continue. And I'm sure you'll get to it, but some options for Ohio State, and I'm not talking about Dante Moore that they just offered a kid up here.
We got 7 Ohio commits in this class alone, and they're
good.
all in the top 261.
I mean,
I'll
we're
take
getting the
that
top
70
Ohio
year.
recruits every year.
I think 5-ish. You won't when it's like 1 or 2. I feel like you could get a couple more than that.
But I don't know.
But
Ohio,
to compete, you can't just building the thing around Ohio because it's national, and we need those in Georgia and California and everywhere else.
right?
And now you need it more than anything because now the money's involved.
Right. I understand the reasoning. The reasoning is because you want kids that are invested in the rivalry, because that is the most recent issue, is losing to Michigan 2 years in a row.
That's the fan reaction.
But just recruiting
State.
Ohio guys is not going to make you win that game.
No.
So
you're going to have a lot of kids that really care a lot, but you might as well go ahead and try to get the most talented.
Right. You want 3.5 stars that really care about the rivalry, or do you want 5 stars?
Because you're not going to make a deal with the other team and say, if you just recruit your kids, we'll just recruit ours and we'll just have a slugfest. Well, okay. You're going to get another team to agree to limit your program. That seems, very silly.
So yeah, let's continue on and get through this 23 class. Jermaine Matthews, love this guy.
Yes, excited about him.
He was another rumor to be headed elsewhere. Got a significant offer from the University of Miami. He's the corner out of Winton Woods down in Cincy, 6 foot 175. People were concerned, but he has once again reaffirmed his commitment, if that was possible or why. Anyway, Buckeye Nation should rest easy. We have another solid high 4-star corner in the mix. Takes.
Let's go.
Enrolling early too. Solid kid. I heard his reaffirmation interview, I guess it might have been called, when he had to reaffirm that he was staying committed. It sounds like a real cool kid. A corner help. We need plenty.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah. Malik Hartford been committed for a long time, since April, out of Lakota West down in Westchester. The safety, 6'2.5", 175. I like this kid. Nationally, he's number 162 in the country. Another solid high 4-star. I think he's going to bring some of that toughness to the safety position. This is my guy, Arvell Reese. This guy just sounds like a bad motherfucker. Out of Glenville, up in Cleveland, the linebacker, 6'3.5", 212. Nationally, number 197 in the state, number 5 overall. This guy is what I would picture when I think of Cleveland and Glenville.
State champions this year, right? State champions, I believe.
Yeah. Teddy Ginn Sr.
You have a little linebacking crew of Arvell Reese and CJ Hicks.
Oh God, yeah.
Hicks and Reese.
Yeah. Gabe Powers, don't forget about him.
Yeah, they might move him outside though, maybe, right?
I don't know. You're only playing 2 typically. But I love Arvell Reese. Lincoln Keenholz from the great state of South Dakota. Sean, you're a huge South Dakota football fan, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. The quarterback, he's been in the news lately in case you haven't been paying attention. 6'3", 185. Nationally, he's number 205. Obviously number 1 in his state and number 1 in our hearts. Replacing the decommitment of Brock Glenn, who flipped over to Florida State. We knew that was coming for some time. It just happened. And then Ryan Day and Corey Dennis went to work on Lincoln. And he decommitted from Washington for a second and then committed to the Buckeyes last week. Any thoughts on Mr. Keenholz?
Yeah, after what happened with what's his face, Raiola, this is my new favorite kid. I'm pulling for this kid. Hope he becomes our next Heisman Trophy winner.
Okay. All right. All right. Next guy, Kayan Lee. This guy, he has been Ohio State sources have been quoted as to saying that he's a wild card. This could be an Auburn flip. Okay. He's from Georgia, Cedar Grove, corner, 5'11", 185, number 209 nationally. Been committed since June. But all signs are, all the Auburn boards and all the Auburn insiders are saying it's just a matter of time before he flips. And like I said, Ohio State sources are saying that who knows? So got that going for us. Josh Padilla from Dayton, Ohio, guard, 6'4", 280. One of the O-linemen we're bringing in this class. I think we have a total of 4. Austin Severo also coming in from Middletown, 6'5", 320. Substantially larger human being. Will Smith, the D-end, son of the late great Buckeye Will Smith Sr., 6'3", 260. This kid,
love to see him as an edge rusher.
Yeah. Can't wait to see him suited up.
For this kid. Rooting for him for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Been committed since January of this year. Safety, another stud safety. I love this guy. Jaden Bonsu coming out of St. Peter's Prep in New Jersey. They build them tough over there on the East Coast. 6'1", 210. 210 already at safety.
Can you already hear Bonsu with the hit? I bet you that guy hits a ton. I can't
dropping
wait.
The Bonsu. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, Big Daddy Paul Keels is going to have a field day with that one.
He's that build, like he might get that whatever they're calling position. That's a size right there that you're kind of a tweener between that safety and linebacker.
Oh yeah, the strong safety position, not the free.
We got one already though.
It's called the
we
bandit.
got one. We got Sonny Styles already.
Yeah, that's true. Caden McDonald from North Gwinnett in Georgia, 6'3", 310, big D tackle. Love this guy. He's got a lot of personality, and he's just a house. You're not going to move this dude.
That's big time Georgia football too, Gwinnett.
Yep, exactly. We've done
big
well
time
up there at Sewanee. Committed back on Halloween, actually, October 31st. Cedric Hawkins. I like this guy. He's been committed since January 1st, probably the first commitment in this class from out of Cocoa, Florida. 6 foot 175. I like this guy. I think, I like these guys that play low key and don't do a lot of media and talk shit and stuff. But they just stick to their commitment. There's never any wavering or any rumors about them. And you're like, all right, that guy has money. He's in the class. We don't have to worry.
But it gives you comfort too, because you think he's focused on the right things. You're not worried about getting a kid on here that's going to be distracted about everything outside of football. You want kids to come in here and be great, because if they're great here, I say it'd be great to them. Later in life. So that's why that's why we root for those kids. So
finishing up, we got another receiver, Bryson Rogers out of Zephyr Hills, Florida. He's another one of those South Florida Express 7-on-7 types. Kid's a stud, man. I'm telling you, this guy might be he might be the best of the 4 receivers coming in. I don't care about star rankings and shit. I like this guy.
I know when you watch their tapes, I know when you see the videos of their 7-on-7 team, you can't tell which one's the most elite versus the lowest.
Right, they're
when
just
you watch that tape.
replaceable. Like,
yeah. I see. They all do some crazy shit out there. They all do.
exactly.
So you can't tell.
And
Like,
again,
that one's 100 or 150 guys rated lower than the other guy. You can't tell.
Right. Again, he's in that Brian Hartline mold that he likes, around 6 foot to 6'2", 175, and can play any position, whether it's slot, outside, inside, whatever, XYZ. So love this guy, Bryson Rogers, very humble kid too. Miles Walker, the last guy we're bringing in here, out of Greenwich, Connecticut. A tackle, 6'6", 285. So he's got that length. I like the length. There's no G when you say length. He's a 3-star. So let's see. Let's see this guy come in and get developed.
Well, you look at a kid like this, he's 6'6", 285. He's got the size. Problem is he plays in Connecticut. If this kid's playing in Florida or Georgia, he might be, a top 200 kid. Something like that. So hopefully the coaches got an eye on this. They're like, hey, this kid's underranked.
Right. Well, Sean, he has, like I said, he has a length and he also has a strength.
Strength and length.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
All right, let me catch up on the chat. Steven coming in here. Steven says, are we recruiting run clogging D tackles? I'm talking 6'3", 320 type of run cloggers. I would say we definitely got one in this last class, right? Maybe two, if you want to talk about the big dude.
I'm with you. Was it
Jason Moore?
100%. I want those guys.
Yeah, it's a good point, Steven. DW, what about Cornelius, who visited today? Let me get back to you on that tonight. Give me a second. Steven also coming back. Larry Johnson like to recruit a bunch of defensive ends and play them at D tackle. That's a good point. That's why I think maybe that Jason Moore is an option at D tackle, even though he's 6'6". That might be in a friendly 6'6" measurement. We'll call it.
Well, Joe, do you remember around 2016, 17, we had Draymond Jones? That dude is still dominating in the NFL. Just 6'6". Remember, just he could play that defense. I don't know if it's the same defense up front, but he could play the run. I mean, Draymond Jones. So it can be done if you're athletic enough. You can play the run at 6'6". So we shouldn't limit.
Yeah, that's rare talent, though. I mean, and if you got a generational guy like that, a guy came out of Georgia with what, 6? It's huge. See,
Jordan Davis.
Yeah, different dudes like that.
Yeah, the guy Jalen Carter they have now is like 6'6".
Yeah.
6'5".
Right.
I guess it can be done, but if you do it at that size, and if it only takes, give me a 6'3", 330 and move that big ass.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's SEC football right there. I mean, that's where they have it.
Yeah. Yeah. We had another comment here. DW, I'm checking on Cornelius. I know he had another visit. Hold up. I just talked about this on Friday, I think. Hold up. Yeah, I focused on, Friday's show was about O-linemen in the portal. Oh, no, that was Saturday. Fuck. Anyway, whatever. Go back and find it. I'll tell you right now. We're going after a Johnny Cornelius. He is the Rhode Island offensive tackle. He got an offer on Wednesday from the Buckeyes. He visited this weekend. He has the third highest grade among all FBS tackles nationwide. Okay. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining.
So he's from Rhode Island University.
Yeah, as in the state.
I got you.
The Rams.
I thought you were talking about a recruit.
The Rams.
I never heard about this. I didn't hear any. no information
Right.
about this.
I mean,
so. Sorry.
who are the guys he's blocking? Me? Who does Rhode Island play?
No, you're way too old, Sean. Come on. That's not realistic. No, but so we're waiting to hear back on how that visit went. He is visiting other schools. And so while we're kind of bleeding into the transfer portal talk, we're out of the 2023 commits so far. We also have O-lineman from UTEP, Jeremiah Byers. He's a first team all conference, Conference USA, started 12 games, allowed just one sack. He's top 20 among all tackles in PFF, has 2 years remaining, and he's visiting Ohio State, Tennessee, and Oregon this weekend. He also visited Florida State earlier this week. Okay, he's out of Austin, Texas originally in 2019.
Bring these kids in, man. Heck yeah. I mean, they depth if nothing else. And it's
Ryan
got a
Day
guy
always
that plays
says it's
for-
about fit, it's about fit and can they help us? And the other thing is, you probably want more than 1 year of eligibility if you can get it. You want some
Unless you're
adjustment.
really concerned. I mean, we took that kid that plays for the Lions now out of
Who's that?
Jonah Jackson.
Yeah,
We
right.
took him for a 1 year stint, and he helped.
Right.
He was second team All-American, I think, that year.
Well,
He
he
played
played
great.
Well, he started like 3 years at what? Rutgers, Maryland, whatever.
Yeah, Rutgers.
But anyways,
yeah.
let me run through the rest of these old linemen that we're after. We have offered. These are guys we have offered officially. Tulsa, Dylan Wade. He was offered on Tuesday. He's also gotten scholarship offers from USC, Oklahoma, TCU, and a bunch of others. He's the only official left tackle that we have offered. His PFF grades are okay. They're like a 65 in run and pass blocking, which 60 is your average, remember. So 60 is doing your job. Anything over that is above average. So he's 65-ish. He's also visiting Auburn this weekend.
That kid is 100% going whatever schools coming from. Where'd you say, Tulane? He's going where the biggest bag is right now. He's shopping it around.
Okay. Well, NIL, you have to consider is probably 50% of these decisions by all these guys.
That's where they jumped in the portal. Yeah, that's
right.
Like,
some of them just to up their.
I got
NIL.
good tape. I got good tape. Can I go get paid?
Right. So Stanford has both our tackles, 2 tackles in the portal. Miles Hinton just committed to Michigan today. He's the son of Chris Hinton that played in the NFL for quite a while, and his brother Chris Hinton Jr., of course, played for Michigan at defensive tackle. Committed to them. He did have an Ohio State offer out of Norcross, Georgia, when he came out of high school. But only 1 year of eligibility there with him. And then the other guy, his teammate, Walter Strauss, tackle, 6'6", 318, has 1 year of eligibility too.
Sounds like we're a little concerned, but with losing our 2 tackles as to what happens next year if we're offering as of late.
So Joe, is that number that's 6 O linemen that we're in on right now? Is that the number?
Is that what I said? I can't count.
I think roughly 5 or 6, right? At least 5.
You got Strauss, Hinton's out. You got Wade, you got Byers, and you got Cornelius. Do see somebody in the chat, DW. Yes, I see your portal alert about Keontae Goodwin transferring from Kentucky, 6'8", 340. Yes, I'm aware of him. Buckeyes were not super happy with the way that recruitment went. If you remember back, he played a little bit of a waiting game.
He
didn't play a lot last year, and I would lay off. I think the Buckeyes will pass. They don't like to bring people in who kind of left them at the altar type. You've seen
Well,
that.
sure.
So
we're Ohio fucking State. We don't. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. But
Next,
that
we'll move on.
is a good point, because a lot of people have talked about Keontae Goodwin being linked to Ohio State just because Ohio State recruited him.
Yeah, we recruit him heavy, but
Yeah,
he probably, who knows? We don't know what behind the scenes. Maybe he was saying, "Look, I need this. I need." His demands were just unmeasurable or something. And Ohio State's like, "No, sorry, get it somewhere else. No, get it here." I thought he was going to get it there, and then it didn't turn out. Didn't get it there, so now he's moving on again.
Yeah.
And pass on that. You don't need that headache, right?
Exactly. It seems like one of those kids that makes bad decisions over and over.
And he's not generational, might not be worth the hassle.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about next? You want to talk about 2024 quarterbacks?
I do want to talk a little bit about
tonight.
How about a little bit about the decommitments from this class?
Okay,
Mark
2023.
Fletcher,
we lost
we
tight
just
end
lost
Ty
our running back.
Lockwood, quarterback Brock Glenn, corner Dijon Johnson. Don't call me Great Poupon, and running back Mark Fletcher.
Yeah, Fletcher was just recently. You just got to. I'd like to get an honest thought from the recruits as to why. Like what was why did you bail? Was it simply money, or did Ohio State fall short somewhere?
Well,
just curiosity with that aspect. It's kind of puzzling, with some of the choices that they've made after decommitting with us.
Yeah.
I don't know if that really is better opportunity.
We got breaking news on Mark Fletcher. 4-star running back Mark Fletcher commits to Miami, his dream school.
He is from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, we're getting his teammate.
But the thing is,
American Heritage.
Why didn't he just commit there from the get-go? If that was his dream school, I mean,
they can kind of tell you something without telling you anything. I guess it's not like he was promised a whole bunch of money to sign with Ohio State, because we know that's not the case, right? We don't induce recruits with NIL.
Not supposed to. Probably should though.
Well, yeah, because I think that's how the other team got him.
Yeah, that's how it's working elsewhere.
I think that's how that worked out. Is the money came through, and he said, "Oh, I'll just stay here then."
Right.
I'm already here. I'll stay here.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, you're talking about life-changing money, for kids that are 18 now. You don't have to wait till you're pros. And, some of these kids, if they can get hundreds of thousands of dollars at that point, and
hey, let's just all play by the same rules. If everybody plays by the same rules, let's just all play by them. The strongest survive, right? But let's just all get on the same page. Well, who can make everybody get on the same page?
I think it is, and right now it is, and some people are just ahead of us. I think everyone's on the same page. There's no rules. You can do whatever the fuck you want, right? And that's the rules of NIL,
right?
Pretty much.
Mean, we just need our boosters to step up, and apparently, they're not willing. That's what I'm seeing. To really just call it black and white, the boosters do not like NIL because they're older. They don't think that this new age, newfangled NIL stuff is a long-term solution. They don't want to contribute to a kid that could leave in 6 months, which I'm not saying they're wrong. You're not going to get your return on investment if that's what you're looking for.
You're talking about not a good names on buildings, right?
Right. They want their names on buildings, and they want, like we talked about last week, they're old school boosters that give money to the athletic department, not to some guy that's running a collective. They don't even know what the hell a collective is. That's why I tried to educate everybody this week on the Daily Blitz. I did a whole 20-minute episode about what an NIL collective is. It's not just a charity in all cases. So I'm not going to go down that road right now. But anyways, so I think if we're going to fight with these programs that are stealing our recruits, boosters got to give. And to the collective, you can't give to the athletic department and think that that's having any effect. Give to the collectives. That money goes to the players directly. And not
Except when
just
it goes, except when the collective keeps it.
Well, yeah. Again, I go back to the fact that they got to put a staff together to run the collective. So yes, there is some, I would call it administrative, quote unquote, costs, but that's the same with the Red Cross or any big charity. You know, there's a CEO, there's staff members, you know, you got to pay salaries. So
I know, but you look at a lot of things like a Red Cross or something, and you'd be as astonished at the amount of, you know, money that goes towards administration, and that's where I think you'll lose people. You've got to run it like you know, it's got to be thin, and the money's got to be getting to the kids. It can't be top heavy, or you know, nobody's going to be into that shit.
Exactly. I know. When I give to charities, I definitely shy away from those that have huge administrative budgets, and you can find that information out there. But anyways, so let's talk about these 2024 quarterbacks. Obviously, the other day, Saturday, Dylan Raiola decommitted, 2024 5-star top prospect in the class. Ohio State. He visited Ohio State multiple times this past spring, was there for the spring game. He was one of their most vocal recruiters for this 2024 cycle. But then Jeremiah Smith committed last week. Nothing. Didn't hear boo. That was
the number one receiver in the country.
No.
Yeah, that
yes.
guy.
Actually, right behind him as the top 2 overall players in the country.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith is number 2. Rail is number 1.
You would think a quarterback would be excited about that.
Right. Quiet. Crickets. Like your background sometimes, Jeff. Ryan Day just visited Raiola on December 3rd, saw him play his last game of his season. And then between now and then, Lincoln Keenholz committed, and I got a big problem. So I'm hearing and seeing a lot of Nebraska talk since Matt Rule has taken that head coaching job, and I refuse to believe it. His uncle, Dylan Raiola's uncle, Donovan, is being retained as O-line coach. Some people have gotten this confused.
No way.
I've seen a lot of people talking about it, that they thought it was Dominic, Dylan's dad, being the offensive line coach. No, it's his uncle, Dominic's brother. Okay, so let's clarify that once and for all.
His dad's OC.
Maybe.
Special advisor to the athletic department, football.
So,
yeah.
Right side, we got a full year to replace Raiola. Let's move on. Let's not fucking dwell in negativity and the bullshit.
Yeah, and calling out high school
quarterbacks want
kids.
to play for Ryan Day.
Yeah. Any of you high-end quarterbacks want to play here? We got a spot. Yeah. We're looking for the best.
Yeah.
You're gonna find some takers, or you're gonna get in some rooms. He's gonna be able to get in front of kids. You know that. They're not gonna. Ryan Day is gonna be able to get in front of kids. So, we'll see. I'd really like to hear from, something from the kid. Like, what was the change? What really did it? Yeah. Because was it something like the relationship fell off? Now, if he were to say something like that, then we got to wonder, like, how did the relationship fall off? Everything seemed great. They traveled to see him a bunch.
Right.
What does that say about? Does it say about Ryan? Does it say about Coach Dennis, or is that more about Coach Day?
I'm really wondering if this is an NIL thing, because I mean, so far the only stuff that I read,
Well,
and I didn't read much, but it was just like a statement from his dad. I didn't even hear from Raiola on this much, and I just think right now that this NIL is front and center, and money's blowing up all over the place, and
You
some
think he needs
things,
money?
bagmen start
Well-
coming around. I don't think you need money, but when people start talking about millions of dollars.
Sean, I think you may be right. I think you're on something. Maybe his dad's like, no, look, I played in the NFL. One thing I know, you get what you can when you can. And maybe he went to Ohio State. And he's like, look, I'm looking at this amount of money, and he was just kind of Ohio State maybe was trying to figure out a way to make it happen, and they just finally couldn't pay him the millions of dollars. And he's like, I got to go take millions of dollars. Maybe it was just simple as that. Like he gave
He'll
Ohio
make more
State.
than his dad. He'll make more in college than his dad ever did as a pro.
Maybe.
Well,
But
yeah.
you're telling me that okay, let's say he goes to Nebraska. You're saying that he went there for NIL. I disagree 100%. I'd say he's going there for
That's a Matt Rule. Yeah, that's a Matt Rule recruitment.
the guy that's never created
with the
an
money.
NFL draft pick at quarterback.
And with the money, with Matt Rule with $8 million, $10 million behind him, that could be, your dad's
I'm sure
alma
if
mater,
he goes to Nebraska, it's obviously something to do with Uncle. I mean, because there's out of all the places, you're not going there.
Exactly.
Hey, maybe his uncle's salary is $700,000, and like he's only allowed to have an eighth of it, and the rest of it goes to his fucking nephew, something like that. Maybe, like,
or his uncle's falling
however
into
they
hard
do it.
times, and he's like, hey, you know what? If your nephew comes here, we're gonna give you $1 million a year to be the O-line coach or whatever the fuck he is. Give you
and
3
you gotta give it all to him. It's gonna go to your account, and then it's gonna bounce out of your account.
I got a tough time thinking that Nebraska is going to provide any more NIL benefits than Ohio State.
Oh,
Ever.
Them fuckers are crazy out there, boy.
I don't think
they're all focused on the same thing. There's nobody pulling in any other direction, man. That's Big Red, full steam ahead. I guarantee you they can make it rain on the kid.
I don't think they'll pay across the board, but I think they'd go all in on a kid like that. I think Ohio State, we got to pay.
Sure.
We got to pay everybody. You got to pay all the 5-star kids.
If that's even the case, I mean, is it a case about money? And Ohio State just finally couldn't come up with money to give him, and he's like, I gotta go get the money because I'm getting whatever he's getting offered. And we never know what we hear about the $8 million to the kid going to Tennessee. We don't know if that shit's real, and I guarantee you that kid has not seen $8 million yet. So. We don't know what these people are saying. We hear $8 million, but
speaking of,
how's that tied up?
While we're in the recruiting segment, Joe, what was the rumor about Ohio State lost out because we couldn't pay a recruit? Was it Keeley to Georgia? Is that what it was, or
Keeley to Alabama?
Is that what it was? But the headline and all the stuff was that Ohio State lost out because they can't afford them. And you had radio guys up here, Mike Valene, who's a big Sparty fan, shitting his pants. He's like, if Ohio State can't compete with these guys, and Ohio State's the top of the Big Ten, he's like, how are any of us even going to survive?
It's a great point. I agree. Keon Lee,
I think Fletcher,
you're talking about
sorry, Joe.
is a possible flip to Auburn. I agree with Valenti. I don't disagree with that fact at all. If we're getting outbid in the Big Ten in NIL dollars, then something's really fucking wrong. And that goes back to my point I said earlier, our Ohio State boosters need to kick in more money, because I'm tired of being asked for fucking money. I've given enough. All right. When is it enough? I just another rant I went on the Daily Blitz last week when I was on vacation. when Gene released that statement. Please
Right,
give to
right.
these foundations, the collectives. I'm like, well, fuck, dude. You keep raising ticket prices. I can't buy a jersey for under $100.
200.
When is it enough? Can't take a family of four to the game for under $1,000. I mean, so my point is, ask your fucking boosters to give more and to the collectives. And Gene's not going to do that. Why would Gene, the athletic director, ask boosters with all the money to not give it to the athletic department? No, please
Because
give it to the collectives, not the school. Even though I work directly for the school, it doesn't make sense. He's not going to ask for that. Anyways, that's a
No,
side tangent.
of course he's not going to, because
this all leads to what I was saying our last show. The schools have to combine, and it has to be collectively bargained.
yeah,
The only way the schools can grab a hold of this.
Yeah, if not, it's over, man.
This will not work. This collectives versus schools. One's got the money, one has the kids. That's not going to work. It's not. This can't work long term the way it is.
Wait till your next Sam Bankman-Fried whatever, and he's gonna throw. He's stealing $8-10 billion. Yeah, I'll throw $100 million at this team. I'll get everybody.
Right. Who's to stop it? Right, and
$5 million
bucks.
I'll take the top 20 kids. $5 million a piece. Cash.
Just don't use the word Ponzi scheme, Sean.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to.
But we all know it's coming. I mean, with all this money, somewhere somebody is going to try to keep money for themselves, and it's going to get on a really grand scale, because we're dealing with millions of dollars, and you got these contracts that there's no oversight to the funds. I mean, I guarantee you, some shady people will look at this and be like, "Oh, they're not even regulating this. Oh, well, let's just approach these guys and let's just run our money through them."
Well, let's not recycle the last week's show. I want to finish DN recruiting for this 23 class. We got derailed onto those 24 quarterbacks. All right, you guys got to let me talk. Let me finish this. So let's finish 2024 quarterbacks. We're going to then easily pivot to 2023 defensive ends. Okay. 2024 quarterback offers. These are the guys we have officially offered to this point. All right. Nothing has changed recently. So these are old offers. 5-star, 6 foot, 190, Jaden Davis out of Charlotte, North Carolina, not committed right now. Okay. So he's been lingering out there. He was a very big Buckeye target until Raiola came into the picture back in the spring, and the Buckeyes took his commitment. So Jaden Davis has been laying out there, still not committed. All right, 5-star. Little undersized in my opinion, 6 foot. 4-star quarterback, Colin Hurley is currently committed to LSU, 6 foot, 213. Now he did reclassify from 2025 to 2024. He was at an Ohio State camp back in June.
Wow,
got
already
his offer and committed to LSU on November 4th. Okay. Last guy is 4-star Adrian Posse. Yeah. Posse, as in she's got a big.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Posse's on Broadway.
Yeah. Out of South Florida, 6'4", 205.
Out of South Florida? No way.
Yeah. So those are the three guys that are in the mix: Jaden Davis, Colin Hurley, and Adrian Posse. Oh, and the Posse is on Broadway. No, the Posse is committed to Auburn currently, but who knows? They just went through a coaching change, so seems like a flimsy situation there. All right, so that's the quarterbacks for 2024. Don't be surprised if you see more offers go out to 2024 quarterbacks. Now, what everybody's waiting for, and what we all want to talk about, is 2023. Oh fuck! I gotta get the fuck out of here. Defensive ends in the 2023 class. We got Joshua Mickens I believe he's going to silently commit to the Buckeyes on Wednesday. Then he will publicly announce it January 7th at the All-American Bowl. Okay, D-end out of Indianapolis. All right, 4-star. Now, what we really want to talk about is Damon Wilson and Mateo Uyunglele. Damon Wilson played in his state championship game Saturday. Then he's taking today and the next couple of days to sit down with his family and make a final decision on his school. It's between Ohio State and Georgia. Now, word around the campfire is that Georgia's throwing a big NIL bag at him. Can the Buckeyes counter? Brian Schatz, I'm talking to you. Then Mateo, West Coast, coming out of LA, play for St. John's Bosco. Nothing on a decision date, so he could push this into February or whatever. Larry Johnson was at his state championship game last week, and then Ryan Day and Larry Johnson both visited him in home this past week on Wednesday. So that's where we stand. Nobody knows nothing. Go.
So, and with the 21st is signing day, correct? Wednesday, 21st. So looks like we're just going to be down to Wednesday to find out. They have announcements like scheduled at their schools or whatever. You know, a lot of those guys get those broadcasting spots because they're going to be, the recruiting TV shows will be going all day. So they'll have everybody's live commitments. Do those guys have dates or times scheduled for announcements?
No.
I don't know. I'm thinking a lot of people maybe push off this early signing.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
Because I think, you got different collectives calling from different states and talking different things to them. And they're just 17 and 18-year-old boys. And, you're 2 days from early signing and someone calls up and says something else, unless you're, committed, which, I'd say 25% of our kids, they wouldn't leave regardless. But everyone else I think's approachable, and at least you'd want to hear, and that may be enough if Texas's collective says, hey, you know what, hold on, don't just jump into this Ohio State thing. I guess a group of people I'm working with, we're putting this thing together. It's like Ohio State's always going to be there, but let us, let me work on this and, give yourself some time. That's why I think it's going to go down.
It would make sense.
Very possible, yeah.
I mean, once you commit, I mean, you're taking away your leverage. Why would you want to give away your leverage at any point?
It depends on who you got in your corner and what you're all about.
The transfer portal, though. The players have all the power in this.
Yeah, it's unregulated. That's why this can't continue. It can't. The business can't be ran.
They get one transfer until they graduate. When you're a grad transfer, you can transfer as many times as you want. So that commits you for probably 3 years.
Dude, JT Daniels is on like his 5th school.
I know.
How is that possible?
You can go. Portal, then grad transfer, then you can go hardship. And I don't know how many hardships that guy has, but it must be substantial.
Yeah, rough life, JT Daniels. This is life of the traveling quarterback. Fuck off.
I know, man. The guy's seen the world.
You should be so. Well, yeah. So I guess we're just waiting because I know the families that the DJ they know they're not going to show any cards or anything. So I don't know if he had an announcement date.
Big day to play.
Yeah, I didn't know if they said and they're just going to spring it on everybody, like it's issue something like in a press release.
I could see him doing a video or something, but I don't know if they'll do the whole live.
At the high school, with the pomp and circumstance and TVs and all that. Well, his son hasn't committed anywhere either in the transfer portal, right?
Not yet.
DJ. Yeah.
I don't think a package deal makes sense in this case.
Well, I don't either. I mean, not if that kid wants to go to a national caliber contender, because
What? Yeah, the way the schools, the schools that the two of them are, the interest level of the two's options they don't match in most cases. So yeah, how are they? Why would they put that out there if they actually were looking to be a package deal? So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They should. I mean, I'm sure their dad's probably looking at the best option for both of them, and it's probably not at the same school. If the parents are involved, you got to trust the parents are looking out for them.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Boulder getting rolling.
Exactly. All right, boys. I think we've done enough damage for one night. Tuesday night, folks. For those that are still around, those that are still listening, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. right here on YouTube. We are going to have the president and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Mr. Gary Stoken. We're going to interview him again. Recurring guest, longtime friend of the show. Right, guys?
As long as anyone.
Oh. What do you want to talk to Gary about? What do you want us to you want us to prepare some
I think
questions?
he's probably pissing his pants because this is going to be a record-setting, not just viewership, but attendance for that stadium.
I'm sure he's very happy about the matchup that he had, the draw. So
I think
he should be really excited
to talk to anybody Buckeye related shows. He's all over the place. So
yeah,
Tuesday night, join us here. Put your questions in the chat, and if they're appropriate, I will read them to Gary. If not, I don't know. Sorry.
We'll laugh about him later.
Then you're not a real fan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Joe's gonna put you on blast and tell you you're an asshole. Not a fan.
Sometimes people got to be put in their place. This is our domain. Me, Jeff, and Sean. We own this domain. You don't like it? Hit the bricks, pal.
Exactly. Hit the bricks, pal.
Always be podcasting. So anyways, we appreciate you guys. Thank you, Steven. Steven, always bringing the knowledge and the smart. He might be smarter than us. He says, hit the like button in the chat.
The low bar.
Yeah,
low bar. Steven Cherry, he's a madman.
Hey.
Cheers to Steve.
Who else do we have? It's Steven, man. Steven,
we
DW, we appreciate you. That Michigan guy that is just talking stupid. We ignored you. You're welcome. David supported my anti-soft campaign to the hilt. He was 100% right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please hit us up. Come back on Tuesday. If anything changes, I'll let you know. But as of right now, the plan is Tuesday, 8 p.m., YouTube Live right here with the president and CEO. He's going to tell us how much he loves Ohio State. All right. Let's get out of here. Oh, I gotta go to bed. All right, boys.
All right.
Appreciate you, Jeff and Sean, as always.
See you.
Later, bro.
Go Bucks.
Peace.